Lady Mortdecai is smarter than her husband. She's much smarter, you know. And Mortdecai would be the first to admit it. There's a moment in the movie where he says to Ewan McGregor's character, "Look, if she's on the case, I have to tell you, she's at least a step or two ahead of us. She's one of these. She's obviously extremely beautiful, incredibly self-composed, and smart as a whip. And that's a really fun character to write for and to direct. And it's like a lot of people, she's drawn to Mortdecai not because of his not because he's virtuous, not because he's smart, not because he's he's heroic, but in fact because of the opposite of all those. He's a rogue, and he makes her laugh, and that goes a long way. Ewan McGregor's character, Inspector Martland, has been in love with Joanna for 20 years, since they were all together at college. And in most ways, he's a much better match for her than Mortdecai. He really does belong with her. He's much smarter. He is heroic. He has a huge career. He's all the things that we traditionally would value and that this guy values, he's got, and he should be with her. But she doesn't love him. She loves Mortdecai. She is, however, not above a certain amount of, not leading him on, but perhaps, flipping her hair in a certain way that she knows he likes, so that she can get information out of him, because he too is chasing the painting. So there's a love triangle at the center of the story, which is great. Jock is played by Paul Bettany, who's fantastic, and Mortdecai introduces him as his manservant and thug. He is. Jock would love to be a butler. He sort of aspires to those sorts of things, but really, he's exceptionally skilled at beating people up. It's in keeping with the sort of high and low balance. The high being there's a terribly witty dialogue, beautiful sets. The low is we're not above a sight gag, people falling down. Jock is ostensibly a butler, but really a thug. That kind of balance is great. I personally destroyed a number of takes by laughing. I can't help it. The first day in particular, I had a hard time in our first setup because I didn't, I'd talked to Johnny a number of times. I had a general idea what he was going to do, but until he shows up, because, he creates these characters and they're full and complete. You know the list. It's Jack Sparrow and Willy Wonka and, tons of others. But you don't know, it's not what you expect. And yet it's somehow perfect. And he shows up and then becomes that person on the first take, because he doesn't really do it in rehearsal. You're just reading it, make sure the script's the way you want it. And then he just becomes that person. And I was laughing just hysterically at the monitor and ruined several takes. And the sound man said, could you, and I through tears, I said, I didn't know he was going to do it like that.